Hello people, good morning. Excuse me, sorry. Just pretend you're not there, okay? I'm just checking my face and hair in the mirror. As you can see, there's less orange today because I've bleached it again. God, I thought my hair was going to catch fire. But it didn't happen, thankfully. However, that thought of me sitting here on the sofa with my head on fire, blazing away, made me think about something. I thought about something. I don't do that very often. And then I came across something somebody said in a video on YouTube, and it's a term, cognitive dissonance. Now, I'm sure you're all aware of that, cognitive dissonance, which I call it the fugue state that we exist in when we are still prisoners of the archonic mind parasites, and hence the matrix. We're not in a state of awareness, and we're just like automatons, completely subdued by the heavy, oily hand of mass consciousness, which is archonic infiltration. So that is cognitive dissonance. I used to have this friend years ago, and she, this was in the days where I thought that it was my mission in life to wake everybody up, if necessarily using a baseball bat with spikes coming out, wake the fuck up! Right, never worked. They just ended up, having to go to the hospital and calling the police, but and they still didn't wake up. It's just appalling, isn't it? What's wrong with people? Anyway, this woman used to come around, and I would talk to her about various nefarious doings in the world and whatnot, and it was all like that. And I tried to show her this really good documentary about 9/11. This is ages ago, by the way, people. And she fell asleep. That is a form of cognitive dissonance as well. Of course, the organic portals, whatever. But even when you get sold people that are not... There's a person I know, for example, and she's absolutely amazing. She's a really nice person, and she's awake up to a certain point, but that's about it. And these people like that, are still trapped by archonic programs, because it is very complex, and it is like a computer game in many ways, really. I'm not saying it is, but it's alike. Anyway, so they have trouble getting through, as it were, to the higher realms of their own true self, their own being, because of cognitive dissonance. And a lot of people were utterly manipulated by the New Age, because the New Age is full of that sort of nefarious, underhanded, twisty, gaslighty nonsense. The law of attraction being one of them, because there's some truth to the law of attraction. It's just it doesn't work the way they say it does, not at all. But people get stuck in that. There's always that denial aspect. I mean, I remember, for example, I don't know how long ago, maybe about 2 years ago, I think, and we were driving to the farm shop, and it came to me in a split second. It was like, this is how my awakening journey has been anyway. I get revelations. I really do. And it's interesting because it all started with the phrase, all will be revealed, and in big, like, with trumpets and all that, a fanfare, whatever. Oh, guys, if I'm a bit rambly, I do apologise, but that's just the mood I'm in. And I did feel like doing a video, even if it is a bit rambly and may not really get to the point, because maybe there is no point. So you know, it's cognitive, the mind, the hijack, the fugue state, the confusion, the denial that we all like to, you know, I mean, it's when all is said and done, it's crunching time now. Very much. This is only for those of us who are willing to no longer be trapped in any way, shape or form at all, who are willing to embrace their creatorship, who are willing to own it, who are willing to step up, who are willing to embrace and be embraced by their true self and their true power. It's difficult because we have been this way all our lives and we're in transit now to that way. No more whining, no more blaming outside agencies or people for our own shit, because shit shows up in your life because it's trying to show you something, and if you own it, then you can do something about it. It's all about miracle consciousness. I don't particularly like that word. I prefer to think of terminology myself, coin my own terminology, but I can't think of anything right now. Miracle consciousness. It sounds very new agey, and as you all know, I don't like new age. However, and also, you know, the word miracle denotes that it's extraordinary or something, and it isn't. It's our natural fucking state of being. This realm is our unnatural way of being. It's not of the light, yeah. And it's gotten very dark. I'm sure you know, those of you who are with it can see and feel and sense very deeply that it is crunching time. I feel it. Oh boy, I feel it so much. There's a subscriber I have, Mr. Guitar, I will call you, who is really just so inspirational to me at the moment, and I love the comments you've left. They're amazing, you know, and I am so happy that you're in the world. The world needs people like you, you know, with it, spiky, fizzy, fuzzy, like with it. I mean, acute people. So you get the term cognitive dissonance, right? Which, if you look at all the organic portals, which is the field, that is cognitive dissonance, right? That's mass consciousness. That is the heavy dark hand, the shackles, the millstones, and all the shit that comes along with that, all the shit. And then you have cognitive dissidents, which is what we are. We're cognitive dissidents. We're not cognitive bloody dissonance, like, we're cognitive dissidents. You know, we are like the Lech Walensas of consciousness or whatever, right? I don't think he was a very nice person actually, but never mind, right? We're like the Gandhis of consciousness then, alright? If you call it that, whatever. And now is our fucking time. Time does not exist. Again, this is just for purposes of getting my point across. Now, we are here now, and we are now moving from to you know, to that is what this is all about. And that is why everything has gotten all of a sudden really fucking dark. It's like somebody's switched the lights off. It's so Truman Show. It's unbelievable. It's so dark now. It literally is. I mean, I was driving around with my other half, you know, like when we go to the farm shop, and we go a different way now, because the route that we used to take used to be beautiful fields and nature and everything, and it's all been destroyed by this fucking housing corporation. They've literally destroyed it. It's like Watership Down now. It's, you know, after the bunnies have left and have been murdered, you know, whatnot. It's appalling. And all these houses that they're building apparently are really, really bad. And some people have bought them, and there's already pending lawsuits and everything because they were just that badly built, which cheers me up a great deal. So we have to go a different way, which again takes us into the countryside. But you see, the countryside, and I never realised this until last year, where I awoke to an even deeper level. I all of a sudden saw it with different eyes, and I realised that the countryside is intersected with asphalt roads every fucking where, with great big electricity pylons that will come and get you and eat you, like, you know, with rubbish strewn everywhere. There's Costa coffee cups everywhere. What the fuck, right? Or people that take their dog for a walk and then pick up their dog's poo, put it in a bag, and then chuck the bag. Cognitive dissonance. I think that's beyond that, actually. That's just fucking stupid. Anyway, and I was looking at it, and increasingly I feel like I live in a kind of like cartoon world, or like in Clive Barker's Reef World. That keeps coming up. I always loved that book, Reef World. It's all these fairy people, and it's all very real. This fantastical reality is very, very real, but there was a threat, and it got woven magically into this carpet, which was then separated, and different people have different pieces of this carpet. And then there's the evil, and this, that and the other. It's a really good story, actually. It's a brilliant book. I really like it. And it's a bit like, I feel like I am in Clive Barker's Reef World. Because this world, this reality, is made up of fragments from all different worlds, all different realities. This is not just one reality. No, this is much more than that. And I mean, there's like giant fucking tree stumps that are miles in circumference. There are giant leaves, and there were tiny little people. They found a skeleton of these people, like Hobbit-like, with actually very big feet. Tiny people, maybe 3 feet tall, but big feet, and sort of weird ridges on their skulls. And there's giants, and there's like super giants, and then there are all the I mean, you check out Jay Dreamer's Z at the end channel. He does a lot of that sort of work, and it's excellent. It's a really cool channel. We are living in a kind of version of Clive Barker's Reef World, people. Anyway, so the key to it all is our consciousness and our ability, and we all have this, unless you're an organic portal, to own that fucking shit. We have to own it. We honestly have to take the reins of our own consciousness, to dispense with the last of the cognitive dissonance, that fugue state that says, oh, you're powerless, and oh, things are happening to you and you have to endure. Like, you know, like we have persecution syndromes going on here, like, oh, they're all coming to get me and they're all doing it to me, you know, like you're the glue attracting all the flies, all the sick flies. Like, you know, your persecution mania, persecution complexes, or you know, doom programming, victim programming, self-hate, fear, and just general confusion, where the sort of the mind parasites just obfuscate your vision. And the whole feel is, oh, there's really nothing you can do. You're kind of in that murky underworld, and ooh and ah and ooh. It all feels a bit like that, like we're all stuck in a giant basin of maple syrup, you know. I know for a fact that the closer we get to the light, well, the light is here, it is in us, but you know, the closer we get to breaking out of that shit, the harder the dark side will fight. Well, of course, that goes without saying. But the point is, we have to own it. I mean, become hyper self-aware. That is a must. To be acutely aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and all other weird, skitsy little nuances that go with all within your being. Simple things like yesterday I was lying back on the sofa and this thought goes through my head of you have to hold your head a certain way on the cushion. And I was like, well, why? Why? Well, because you don't want to mess up your hair. And I'm like, but that doesn't even matter. Why the fuck would I care? I'm at home, I'm watching a film, and then I'm going to bed, where my hair will get really messed up, as is evidenced. But that thought was like a program. It felt weird. It felt like cognitive dissonance, because I was actually having a really fluid and good stream of consciousness, and that thought interrupted it. It dissected it, because it was archonic, and it was like, no. Do you see what I mean? How clever it is. This is what happens all the time, but because we are used to that, we don't notice that happening. We just are still just going along with that. See, they do it all the time. Intersect, dissect, stop, or divert, or distract. All of those weird, like schismy mental processes that are not of the light, that we need to be aware of. We need to be with it, with our own consciousness. Like, imagine you have this massive toy, and right, eliminate, 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 eliminate. Because it's my goddamn consciousness, it's not theirs. It's your consciousness, it doesn't belong to them. It's yours, so get it back. Because when all is said and done, people, this is crunching time. It is. This war, so-called, and it is a kind of war, make no mistake about it. Because we can feel that, can't we? It is a kind of war. It's not fought conventionally, but it is a war. It is a war for our consciousness. The archonic mind parasites are fighting for their survival, and anything that fights for its survival is going to be extremely fierce and furious. So we need to be aware of that, because it's upped the ante. They have upped the ante, and so we must as well, but not in the same way. We have a different MO than they. We have a very different MO, and our MO is love. Now, love is truth. Love is courage. Love is complete commitment to self-consciousness, and to the light, and to the great healing. Love is patience, love is wisdom, love is true humility, which is not like, oh, no. It's about being like a child, to have that purity of a child. And yet, to be savvy, really savvy, and to see what is what, all the bullshit, because love is truth. Love is compassion. But love is also discernment, to see, you're an asshole, aren't you? Yeah, okay, I'm off, toodaloo. Or, hey, this is bad, that is wrong, that is good. We know. But you see, our minds are still not we're still not quite free. I mean, we need to up the ante, truly. And the only way to do that now is by being super present. Be aware, become the ultimate witness of your own consciousness, and see what's really going on there, what you're really feeling, and never ever do denial, because it's the worst bloody denial. Is the Archon's way of keeping you trapped. It doesn't lie out there. It's not about what you eat or what you drink, though of course if you're going to eat a really shitty diet and eat at McDonald's every day, it's not going to help your consciousness. But ultimately, yes, have a good diet, look after your body very well. MMS is very good for you if you have any kind of problems. Water, etc. Give up your addictions, whatever they may be. You may be addicted to something as simple as coffee, or eating too much. I still eat too much. I eat much more than I need. We don't need much food at all. We don't need much sleep either. We don't need 8 hours a night, people. We need maybe 3 to 4, 5 hours a night, tops, seriously. We don't need to eat so much food. We don't need to drink so much water. All of that's bullshit. That's all more distractions. It's not out there, it's in here. We are the creators of reality. Alright, we do this all the time, but we have been hijacked. So now is crunching time. This shift that we've all been feeling is all about this transition. Okay, so become the ultimate witness to your own consciousness and notice what the fuck is going on there, and do not flinch away from it either. Do not beat yourself up because it isn't your fault. Know that you have the power to change that shit and to let go, clean and wipe and heal, and keep loving those aspects of yourself that you encounter that are still languishing in darkness and illusionary, you know, beliefs of, oh, it's like this and it's better to be here. Just tap them on the shoulder and say, hi darling, I'm here, come on home now, it's time to come home, because all of that is bullshit. You're a powerful creator being. Because that's where it's at. We need to clear out all that shit so that we can really access our imagination, because being in a kind of like semi-fugue state, or cognitive dissonance, cognitive dissonance, it impedes the imagination, and that imagination is the ultimate weapon. It really is. I said this before, I said it in a video many videos ago. Imagination is the ultimate weapon in the war against the hijack. And that is why they want us to be in survival mode, fear, all the bad things are going to happen and there's nothing I can do. It's all bullshit. But it feels real. Gut feeling, it all hurts, but you know what? The shift is on, people. That is for some of us. And own it all. And keep shifting and keep healing and keep transforming. You know, it's like Jessica, the Bene Gesserit witch, when she's initiated in the desert and she has to drink that water, you know, the poison. Change the water of life, Jessica. Change the water of life. She has to take it within her. This poison is drunk. And she uses her magical powers to change it to ordinary water, and thereby gains her power. It's an initiation, and that is what this is, people. Because we also need to change the water of life. The poison already lies within us, but we can neutralize it. But we must want to do it. We must want to do it. We must want to own it. That means that, yeah, you do find yourself slipping back into the old. It feels comfortable, you know, it's the comfort zone, but it's not really very comfortable at all, is it? Because it makes you feel like shit. So keep leaving that comfort zone, say, no, bullshit. Keep wandering out of that prison, the door is always open, you know, into the light. Because where we are going now is it's an unknown country. The more we own it, the more we release it, the more we heal it and reintegrate it lovingly, the more powerful we will become. And it's also time to start using our imagination and think about, what is it we want? What is it you want? What is it you want? What do I want? It's true that we're still a little, you know, but we'll get better at it. We will. I know it. And well, what would you want? What would you like to create if you truly understood that you were an infinite being? Infinitely creative, with infinite imagination. What do creative beings do? What is it you really want? Start thinking about that. And start believing that you can have that and create that. Yeah. The shift, this is it. This is crunching time, and it may go on for months. I have a feeling towards sort of October, November of this year. Not to say that it's going to be like this all the way, but I can't say really. I think there's going to be great highs and some great lows, because in order for us to really actualize all the last of the slimy black ooze, X-Files, remember? Has to go, it has to go, it has to be brought up, cleansed out, it has to be harmonized, alchemized, composted and reintegrated. That is what it's all about. So sometimes it will be very, very tough, because when you're in it, you're in it. You think that's how it is. We know this because we've been there before. But we can make it through that. We always do. We always do. And you know, the revelations, the seeing keeps getting bigger and bigger, and we know more and more, and we feel more and more powerful, and we realize, aha, so we are cognitive dissidents. Woohoo! Anyway, I guess that's all I wanted to say for today. And as always, I'm saying this very much to myself as well, because obviously that's where I'm at and that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Well, I love you all, and I wish you all a very good weekend, and yeah, be cognitive dissidents, people. Own it. Own all of it and embrace your power. Toodaloo.